Welcome to OverSeasoned.
It's only going to take one take.
I actually kicked him out of the restaurant.
Why?
Gotta bitch to someone.
Gotta bitch to somebody, and I'm good to bitch to.
I thought you were from Spain.
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Sí soy.
Gotcha.
Soy chorizo.
Oh, no.
You've gone into Martha Stewart land.
It's good. It's just not live.
Whatever.
Okay.
It's like a scene from Cocoon. Like the sun goes down.
You don't want to get blacklisted.
You know what, Mr. President? Is this what you want? We're back for another episode
Of OverSeasoned.
the podcast for recovering restaurant addicts.
And current.
And current and future.
And future.
Now that, we have some kids listening to the show.
Right. So, well, true.
Yeah.
So, I was reminded recently of what a monumental effort offsite catering takes. Not only because of the dinner we cooked yesterday, which we spoke about in the last episode.
Yes.
But I was at a winery in the North Fork of Long Island. There's 70 wineries. It's a lot of wineries out there.
How is the wine out there before you go too deeply?
I really appreciate. I wouldn't go too heavy into the reds.
Okay, but you prefer the whites?
Whites, rosés. There's some great sparkling.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
All right,
we live
cool.
when we're out there. We live right across the street from a huge sparkling wine.
Like a producer?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they got this thing with Brazil too, so there's all this Brazilian artwork around. I don't know what that is about, but yeah.
Sounds to me like some money laundering.
Walking distance to a winery is a nice
amazing.
Thing. It's a nice thing to have.
Especially not living in California or Oregon or something.
Yeah, sure. The one thing about there, the amount they produce isn't so much, so
Okay.
I feel like the price is a little bit high sometimes, just because of the limited quantity available.
Don't forget, your proximity to the Hamptons also gives you an extra special tax.
True.
Okay.
It's a long way from the Hamptons. It's about an hour.
If we started a vineyard in Camden, I'm pretty sure the prices we got would be limited.
True. So where was I going? Okay, so
you go to this winery.
Yeah, their tasting is always a thing, but it's morphed into having a picnic, right?
Like a dinner
tasting
party.
The tasting rooms, people aren't really going there to taste wine to see if they want to buy a case or two.
They're just going to get hammered and hang out?
They're going to have some wine and hang out, right?
Okay.
So it's slowly evolved into like a picnic.
Okay.
They have seats outside. Everyone kind of meets there. They have some wine. And
Is there like kids running around? It's like
all of
the
it.
whole slice of
yard
communities
games,
out there.
the whole thing. It's not like common taste, right?
So it sounds like you ever go to like one of those places like beer gardens where they have the games and the Jenga. And
Yeah,
all, is it
all
like that?
Yeah. all
Got
that.
it.
And they've started this kind of revolving food truck kind of situation, also because people basically go there for a picnic, right?
Understood.
Not just to taste wines and delicately taste wines and see what
Right.
they have.
Yeah. It's not about a collection that you're amassing at home and figuring out which wines you want because they're ageable.
I'm just guessing, but
Sure.
I would guess that 95% of the people who go to a taste aren't leaving with any bottles of wine.
They're consuming there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So it's become a thing, right?
All
and
right.
then food trucks show up there, and then become completely overwhelmed with the amount of people who are showing up in the summertime.
So it's getting busy.
It's really busy,
No shit.
So
when you say busy, how many people are out in these like little picnic situations?
it's hard to tell, kind of on a revolving
100
basis.
peeps? 200 peeps?
Easily, kind of
Okay.
in and out. Like at one time, anywhere from 60 to, and they all kind of do their things. Like Thursday is like burger night at this place. They'll have burgers and pizza
Whoa.
trucks over here. So they're kind of.
I mean, it kind
using
of
to
sounds
call
fun.
people.
It kind of sounds like an Instagrammer's dream.
Well, maybe that's where it all comes from.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Anyway, so we're meeting some people at this winery.
Okay.
And there's a pizza truck there, and everyone wants to try the pizza truck because the pizza truck's there. That's where you get pizza on this day.
Yeah.
And it was a great setup. Like they have the whole oven in the truck. It's a serious.
And listen,
deal.
pizza and wine is a really fun combo.
Sure.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's not like, Rice Krispie treats.
What would you drink with pizza? What would be your go-to wine?
The go-to wine? Ooh,
for like
that's
a standard pepperoni pizza.
Ooh. I would say there's two classics I think that are really good for pizza. One is Sangiovese. Sangiovese is like Everybody says it has a touch of oregano in it as like its natural character and expression. And there's also a lot of people who say it has a savory tomato note. It has a nice, bright, acidic.
Pizza in a bottle.
It's pizza in a bottle. I like that. Yeah. So I would go with a nice, elegant expression, maybe of a Chianti Rufina, or even like a more classic producer that doesn't use a bunch of new oak. So it's the name is escaping me. I've actually been to this vineyard, but they make
in Italy,
in Italia, in Tuscany, my brain is fried. It'll come to me.
Right.
Yeah. It's called.
Just scream it out when.
Yeah, I'll scream it out as soon as it comes to me.
Right.
No problem.
The episode. In the next episode, in the middle
Chianti
of it.
Classico. Right.
Right. Chianti, of course, I could see that.
Yeah, Chianti Classico. Anyway, but another one that's really great. There's a Piemontese varietal called Barbera.
You always have a problem giving me one. I want one.
All right.
I don't want a whole selection. I'm not not trying to lead me to the more expensive thing on the menu so you get a bigger cut.
No.
Right? Just give me one. Sangiovese.
Sangiovese, Chianti Classico from Tuscany, something without a bunch of oak on it. And I was going to tell you one, and it just
it'll blurt it out. 3 episodes from now, it'll come to you.
It starts Felsina.
There we
Felsina.
go. Right on.
Chianti Classico is just a beautiful. It's a benchmark producer. They use a bunch of old botti, which are like the barrels that we saw in Mendoza.
Okay, the clay ones. The big, huge barrels.
Yes,
right. Not the
usually
what the size of
oak.
There were 2 sizes of barrels.
225s we saw. There's 500s. These
500
are like liters.
Right.
These botti that they use in Italy for like the classic producers. I mean, I want to say if those are 500. They must be 5,000 liter, massive old Slovenian oak, and it's just a way to soften the wine.
Slovenian oak.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah. So anyway,
so they would source oak from Slovenia.
Yeah, they share a border there,
sure.
And there's maybe it's something about I don't know. Italy doesn't necessarily that I know of have its own barrel making kind of prowess. You got France, you've got Spain.
Like I've heard of French oak and American oak, but not Slovenian oak.
You got American oak. It definitely has its own whole thing, and a lot of like in France, for example, which is typically known as the highest quality, or maybe the most
traditional.
It is definitely the most expensive barrels,
and traditional, right?
A lot of them are named by the tonnelleries, are named by the forest that they're from, or there's these old producers that they'll cut with like the oak staves that they make are actually cut in the layers that they grow instead of across the grain to make them less porous. So as they
I can
make
see
the
that
barrel,
they're easier to bend that way also.
Okay.
Right.
But then the Slovenians and the Italians have a really interesting relationship where they provide this beautiful old school style barrel, and they build them in, all over Piemonte, all over Tuscany. And
they must have to build them in place. They're so big.
They're huge. And I don't know. Maybe we'll have to go to Italy and find out. But I digress. So we got our pizza wine, and you're about to get some pizza. So tell me what's going on.
Right. So this one poor pizza food truck shows up.
How many people are working inside this truck? I already could tell.
How many do you think? I think it was a trailer, not like a truck, right? It was a trailer.
I mean,
it was a pizza making trailer.
You need somebody taking orders.
Yep.
You need somebody cranking pizzas.
Yep.
You need somebody dressing pizzas.
Yep.
And you probably need somebody restocking the line. If you got 100 people and some of them have kids and all of them want pizza, especially after you have...
At the same time. Right, so it's not like people kind of come
so
after
everybody
work
shows up together. They all text each other beforehand, like, "Yo, let's go fuck with these people real quick."
And the wineries are just like adding more tables outside, right? Because it's becoming a thing. And how do we keep people occupied, right? So
hey, listen, we got to
get them buying wine.
Right, we need revenue, right? Revenue is the name of the game.
So usually the wineries always have they can't have it'll come to me what. They can't have like a food license. There's some special license for it, right? So they can't be open past a certain hour.
Food service license.
Can't.
I know for a fact, in many cases, has to come with a grease trap.
All
has
that
to come,
stuff.
Yes, like
Right.
there's all these rules around what kind of license you're allowed to have in order to actually generate the revenue.
Also, they're not allowed to sell the wine after a certain hour.
Oh,
Right?
so you're against the
So
clock.
it's not a restaurant, right? So it's
Yes.
I think they all close at 7 or something like that.
Understood.
So they're trying to
Understood.
navigate
New
this.
York, once again, coming in strong with all
Well,
of
it's
the
not a
fucking
restaurant,
prerequisites
right? It's-
to ensure that you can open a happy business.
Well, the
Fucking New
business
York.
is changing.
Yeah, I
right?
know. I'm
So-
just saying. I remember when we had Shoebox Incorporated in New York. Every fucking other week, you were like, "What the fuck is this? Another
Paperwork
email
central?
or
Yeah.
another?
Yeah.
Another piece of paper that I have to fill out to then let them know that we don't do that, and then unfill it out, and then follow up with it. It's just New York.
it's a
Get
lot.
your shit together.
Well, or open in Nevada.
Yes, yes.
So, where was I?
Sorry. Okay, so
Okay, so it's becoming more of like we said, it's like a thing, right? It's not just tasting buying wine. So
Okay.
there's a food truck there. Oh, so mostly what they would do there is they'd give you like a cheese plate would be like a honk of cheese like in the package.
what do you
and
mean?
you'd
Like
have to-
still cryovac?
Yeah, like you get a sausage there, like
sorry.
a
Is
salami
this
or
from the-
something.
this is from the winery.
That's what you would do because they're not food service,
Right.
right? They're
No,
just like
understood.
pulling stuff off of
Yeah.
the shelves and putting it on a plate and giving it to you with like a knife.
They're a
And
little,
you
they're a
open
little
it,
market.
you do the thing.
They're like a little, yeah.
Right.
At that point, they're
Right.
like a little market.
Which is pretty great. It's like massive
No, that's
hunk of
fantastic.
cheese
Yeah.
and salami and stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done
I
that.
thought you were saying that this is what the pizza fucking place
no,
is
no,
doing.
no.
And I was
so
about to
they
be
do
like,
serve food, but it's
Wow.
like packaged, right? Or
yes,
like
okay.
nuts.
A
or
little De
something like
Bruno's
that.
action.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's this one pizza truck serving all these people, and I could just see this guy's getting weeded, right? So they have
Dude.
2 kids in the back because it's also hard to staff a
Yeah,
seasonal
sure.
thing,
Sure.
right? So
and,
there's
and how often do you think these guys are actually doing service? Like once a week, twice a week?
who knows where they move around to, but I'm sure just staffing it is an issue in itself.
Yes.
because there's 2 kids,
Yes.
like home from school for the summer kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
We're making the pizzas, like assembling the pizzas, I should say.
Okay.
One dude who's working the oven, and you could tell he's like the boss. He
Yeah, of
like
course.
knows what's going on and
Yeah.
directing everybody.
You would think
around,
so, right.
One
Right.
person taking orders, and,
And if I were the boss, I would not want to make eye contact with any single one
we'll
of those
get there.
people.
We're gonna get there.
Okay.
And then one person kind of cutting the pizzas and just managing the tickets, etc.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot,
Yeah.
for a very small amount of time.
And everybody, I mean, the thing about pizza is every person has their way they want it, their toppings, their this and that. What you think is going to be a very simple endeavor can get very complex
Yes.
very quickly.
Yeah. Especially when people start to change little things, you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm a culprit. I fucking do
You
this.
definitely are.
Where I'm like, ooh, that salad looks great, but I want it without pine nuts. I want to
yeah,
add.
one of those.
Sorry, dude.
One of those. We'll get back to the Cobb salad conversation at another time. That's
Okay.
a recurring theme. But so these guys are just getting slammed. And a disorganized kind of slam. You know?
Dude, it's hard to get your reps in when you're only opening or running this
I
truck
was
once a week.
Kind of like, I don't know if the fire was hot enough. I don't know if they had, and if you start service without the oven at the right temperature,
Yeah, then you're fucked for the rest of the day.
you're
I
just
would imagine.
You're just behind the 8 ball the whole rest of the service.
Did you get a chance to peek into the oven? Like, was it gas?
It was wood.
It was wood.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can't just crank. You can
Yeah.
just, boop, right? So, and then you're adding pizzas to it, which is cooling down, not significantly, but enough.
Something,
right?
sure.
And you're adding a lot of pieces and trying to manage these things without being fully ready. That's what I assumed happened.
Okay.
So everyone's kind of waiting around. Everyone's got kids. They're all starting to act out. They all got to go home and take a bath and do the bedtime, you know. So
right.
it's
And you're
getting
up
to that
against
time.
you're up against the cutoff for the wine too.
Right.
Right? Because
Right.
that's a ticking clock in the back.
Sure. So people are starting to like mill around. You know, they give you a buzzer. I think it was a buzzer, right? Go and come back when the buzzer goes off, and everyone just starts to kind of
You can feel the tension building.
right. People start to kind of float back up before their buzzer comes off, just kind of seeing what's going on. People are getting a second or third glass of wine before their pizza's out, right? So there's getting to
Now-
be like,
And now you're getting a little bit intoxicated too,
That's what I
which
mean.
does not help
Right.
with your mood.
right
when
you're waiting
hungry.
for a pizza, and your kids kids crawling all
Right.
over. You know, you're trying to
Right.
like give them a piece of pizza. You're trying to
Yeah,
dig
you
for
want-
snacks in the
right.
car.
That's why it's called a pie hole, because you want to fill that thing. That's right, especially with a child.
There you go. So the tickets are all out of whack.
Oh,
He
no.
does. He's just the guys in the back are just giving him stuff, and he's just like throwing stuff in. No one knows who's for what.
This is why I can't watch The Bear, dude.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
You're just.
We're on the same
you're
page
just-
as far as that.
You're just wafting around the issues, and I'm getting anxious.
Yeah, I know. I was getting anxious too because
Just watching from the outside.
right. I'm like waiting, and I'm just trying to like be supportive in a way. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, but one pizza came out.
Oh no.
No, a pizza came out, and it was the pizza that I ordered, but it had jalapeno on it.
Oh no.
It was the same whatever I got, like a jamon and mozzarella, whatever. I don't even remember what it was, but it had somebody that added jalapeno to it, and I'm like, do I take this one?
Oh, because
Do I
he was trying to sell it to you.
He was just like jamon pizza, and I saw that there was jalapeno on it, and I'm like, I'll just pick it off for my kid. You know what I mean? I can't like. It was for my child, so
Right.
I'm like,
and what's more
I think
important?
we had like 2 or 3 pizzas. 'cause
Getting
we were
the
there
right
with people.
pizza or just getting
Just a
hot-
pizza,
yes,
right?
getting something.
But I'm like, it has to have jalapeno on it, right? I'm just trying to feed my child, and there's like.
oh, it's the one ingredient that you wish
I was-
wasn't on there probably
Yeah,
for him.
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Could have been anything else on the
Right.
on the selection. So I go to kind of like amble up there to kind of swipe this pizza and pretend it's mine,
Right.
and a woman comes up like right in front of me.
No.
Snatches it. It was her pizza.
God, yes, I
Right.
know, but she doesn't have to make sure that a cute little
She'd
blonde
been
kid.
waiting
Just as long
probably
as you.
longer, right? So
Yeah, but I'm
he's
Team
lost.
Tony, dude. I want to make sure you get your pizza.
I think it was another 20 minutes before we actually got something. But
Oh,
he
dude, that's
completely lost control. Completely lost control of the situation. Tickets are flying out. The cutter guys also goes over to take orders, and then the order taker guy disappears, and I can just see this all happening. And I just wanted to go. I just wanted to leave.
Into a
I'm like,
downward spiral.
you keep the money. You keep the pizzas. Let's just.
How many-
This situation is not going to
Get
rectify
better.
itself in the next 10 minutes. You know.
What? How many pizzas had you ordered?
I think we got 2.
Two
yeah,
pizzas.
2 pizzas, but we were with other people who also ordered 2 pizzas, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Let me ask you real quickly. What is the going rate for food truck pizza in New York?
dude, I
right
don't
now?
even look at prices anymore. I'm always so I don't even look. Like,
Flabbergasted.
I'm always like, what?
Yeah.
Right? Can we just eat at home more often? Do I have to have friends? Can't they come over?
Yeah.
And we'll just,
Yeah.
So right. So this is just, and the people other people are sitting with are starting to get annoyed, and I'm feeling their anxiety. Right.
But-
I'm having anxiety because they're getting annoyed.
Of course,
I'm like
and
starting
you're
to take
seeing it all.
responsibility for the guy.
You fucking
You know what I mean?
restaurant.
Like, I know.
Jesus. So now you're assuming the tension for
Yes.
the food truck,
Which
that
I do
doesn't give a fuck.
every time.
I
I'm
know.
like standing there. Please make that next one
Put
big one.
anything
Please
up.
make the next one big one.
You know what? And dude, honestly, there's a point where you're just like, just throw up fucking 10 mozzarella, like
The oven wasn't hot enough. Oh, God. So he's trying to work this system with the pizzas coming out. The kids in the back weren't assembling the right pizzas in the right
Dude,
order.
I'm just imagining kids like hungry, fucking parents are
Yeah.
fucking over it. Everybody's got purple teeth.
Yeah. I think that Johan is going to have a lot of fun with the next cover of our podcast with this one.
Yes, he is.
What was that? So we're not even to the best part yet. The
Okay.
most anxiety-ridden part.
No,
What do you think happens next?
Don't tell me he stops making pizzas.
He didn't stop making pizzas.
Okay.
But he pulls out the pizza that is for us. Well, it didn't even matter. There was no order to anything. It's just like who's waiting there longer and who looks the most upset.
Got
Who's he going to
it.
satisfy next? So he's all working out of order and just what did you order again? He's asking us. We're telling him. Right. So he's just like throwing things up and he pulls out the pizza that I thought was for us. No, it was for us. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And he pulls it out and it slips off the peel onto the ground. Yeah.
Dude.
And you could just see his face just crestfallen, right? He pulled it together quickly, though. He didn't just walk off.
did
He
he-
didn't just take off his apron, drop it, and leave, which I thought was
Did he do the 5-second
great.
rule? Because
I would have taken
that
it.
fucker
I would have taken
right
it.
back in the
I would
oven
have
for
taken
half
it.
a
I would have
second.
just, but it was like the hot cheese just kind of like fell off, you know. Luckily, there was one right behind it, so it was only another 2-3 minutes. But I don't know whose I took. Right, I just waited there, grabbed it, and ran back to our place on the lawn.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a tough one. But it
That's
just kind
not
of
fun for anybody.
no one's happy.
No one's having fun.
happy. Everyone, the time had come past for them. You're
Maybe
not
the
really
winery-
hungry anymore. You're just
Maybe whoever's in charge of the books for the winery is having fun though, because they're like, hope that 45-minute ticket time pizza keeps on happening.
like by design. But it kind of gets back into like the back of the house guy having to be right there, right? We've all been weeded, right? But it takes a special kind of, you know, countenance to be able to manage the people and then to be managing the kitchen, right? So it's hard to do both at once.
I gotta
when
tell you,
shit
bro.
is just going down in flames.
So there are a couple food trucks I really enjoy in the Florida area and that I've been to over my life. And I would have to say that the majority of those are not full-time restaurant people. So I go to one which is a fantastic barbecue.
What do you mean by not full-time restaurant?
Okay. So you know, I feel like when you're running a restaurant, there's a certain level of, let's call it not anxiety, but like you're on it, right? You're moving with precision and focus, and you've got a little bit of a
Constant state
fire
of urgency.
burning. Constant state of urgency, right? You're just like, all right, let's go. Next order, boom. You put up, like, you have a system, like ticket here, call it out, make sure that all the stuff you need, the mise en place, the map, as they call it. Which is pretty
that was
cool.
funny. Yeah, he kept calling out map, and I'm like, what is this strange
chef
new
last night,
Spanish word?
the Argentinian
mise en
chef.
place.
Mup. I love it. Me
Yeah.
too. But you're getting everything ready, and sometimes if you got your shit together, even something as simple as like, all right, this guy's got a grilled cheese, this guy's got a burger, even just the condiments that you set up on the tray.
Oh, everything.
Everything.
It's just like we were talking about setting up from scratch yesterday and what a kind of a scramble that was.
Yeah.
Right? We're cooking, which we spoke
You
about
need
last
your
podcast.
systems in
You
place.
need to have systems in place, every single thing, because even the stupid cutting boards being like the wrong size for the counter, right? And then the sink's a little
Totally.
too small. You can work around those things if you have experience, but
Right.
even a day.
Exactly.
Right? Then you kind of know where things fit.
and you make your adjustments.
Because once you start actually serving, once the orders start coming in,
Yeah.
if you don't have that,
Yeah.
you might pull it together, but it's going to be a rough.
Oh, you probably
night,
won't.
right?
Well,
I mean, the clientele might not know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you're going to have a rough time, and this is where drinking happens.
Yes.
At the end of the shift,
Yes.
right? You're just got your ass
need it.
handed to you all night long if you're not like perfectly set up.
And there's something about that specific anxiety, like when shit's spinning out of control.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, because you're in a perpetual state of just this fucking sucks,
Yeah.
and you're underwater, and now you're doing everything poorly. Like,
yes.
you know
Like
what I mean?
dropping the pizza.
You're,
Like you're
right.
rushing and then the
you're
pizza
moving
drops.
around, and then all of a sudden you're bumping into each other,
Right.
and now you're just looking for any way to get out.
Yep.
Right? And dude, I've had horrible experiences with services that I was just like, we should just pack it in.
Rob, I'm done.
Yeah, like I've definitely had those situations.
My worst experiences, though, have always been offsite. Like trying to pull together a catering offsite. Because it's, catering is so difficult. It's so difficult to like get it together, and you always forget something. Someone doesn't show up. Like, where's the sink? You're like using a hose behind something to like wash things. The racks. Catering is not my jam.
No. Well, to this point, so there's like a food truck lot, right, in Florida where I hang.
At least you kind of show up with all your stuff, right? It's not you're in a contained environment.
But here's the thing: is that I don't know if it's the lack of food truck culture, or if it's that you like maybe you need to be in a university setting. Like, for example, like this food truck that's in the North Fork. Like, I can't imagine that whoever's running that food truck is food trucking every day of the week.
Well,
it's like a 2-day-a-week thing.
Potentially. I mean, you go where the business is, but I really think the problem was that they didn't have enough food trucks because there was just the pizza, right? So if they would have had a taco, whatever, a nice little selection, even 2 pizza trucks, go for it, right? It would have been a lot more manageable because you just got flooded.
You know what I feel like that is missing?
What?
An oyster truck. No cooking.
Oh, sure, they have some
big ass thing of ice.
Right.
Mignonette, lemon, shrimp cocktail, oysters. Pre-shuck those motherfuckers. Yeah, I'm a sandbagger, especially when we're getting our ass kicked. And maybe some crab cocktail, a few cold sauces, sprig of parsley. Get the fuck out my face.
Yeah.
Give me my $48.
They have those too. Some friends of ours that do that as well.
Okay, nice.
Brewery and stuff.
That's where I would want to go anyway, too. Because it's like, it's hot out.
Little Ram oysters. Fantastic. They do a lot of that. But there's a lot of wineries. It's that time when it's not quite set up for everybody yet.
Yeah.
So bring your food trucks out to the North Fork. There's business.
There you go. And so my experience has been, at least in Florida up until now, is when I go up to these, look, maybe this is an epidemic problem happening across the food truck industry, but anytime I go order food, we're going to have a conversation. The teller and I.
You're always having a conversation.
Well, dude, it's because it's taking at least 10 minutes for whatever I ordered. There is no for example, if I go order a smoked turkey leg, I'm not sure why. That smoked turkey leg is about to take 15 minutes.
What?
Well, that's what I'm saying. And then I'll just be like, so do you guys, how often are you guys out here? Or
food trucks should be scoop and serve.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Right? It's become a little bit too restaurant-y where you're waiting for a ticket and stuff.
And that's exactly
if
where
they
I'm
would have
going.
just been making one pizza, right?
Yeah, right.
Or maybe it's
pepperoni
cheese,
or not.
Pepperoni or not, right?
Yeah.
And they're just making them. There's no orders taken. There's no adjustments
How many
to
pies?
it. There's not can I have that one with the
prosciutto and the fucking arugula? No.
Right. Add
no, you
jalapeno
can't.
to that, right? That's it.
Right.
Right? Or you could put some fresh arugula on at the
Simple
end.
is better.
Always.
Always.
It makes your service better.
It does.
The people are happier.
Right.
Because once you start to add that third or fourth item, it's like you with the salad. It just becomes a free-for-all.
It really does.
Then people are just pulling stuff around by default.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody's going to do it just because that's what they do every place they go. They can't just
100%.
get what's on the menu. They got to start. So the more ingredients you have, the more room to play.
The more interpretation.
The more room to play there.
The more Karina is going to come with her Tom Colicchio advice on how that salad should be.
Yeah.
And you don't want that.
You don't want that.
No.
No. It's got to be turn and burn, baby.
Well, so I'm always, it's always the large piece of smoked something that grabs my attention.
I don't understand how that would take.
Well, so, dude,
it should be done. It's done.
Again.
Maybe they just like to talk to you.
No.
Maybe
they don't. Because there's a line behind us.
Right.
There's a line. And same thing. We get a thing. This is a problem, Tony. If you have a food truck and your first thought is I'm going to hand you a thing that's going to vibrate at some point, we're already on the wrong fucking track, ladies and gentlemen. We are not. We are not. So
it should be take the money, and then the other side of the food truck is just you just walk around and grab.
Yeah, it should just be insert credit card here, open your mouth, boom.
Right.
I'm going to fucking stuff your fucking face with a piece of sandwich or a lollipop or an ice pop or a fucking corn dog, right?
Ooh.
And those condiments are right down there for you, right?
I could get by with a corn dog truck.
Yes.
Part of having a child is getting to eat those things again.
It's nice.
Pretend it's for the child, but it's
really for you.
Chicken fingers all day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a corn dog, what do you put on a corn dog?
Mustard.
Mustard.
What?
Spicy mustard, yellow mustard.
By the way, my friend.
What did I do?
It's hard being right about everything. You just have to wait. You know what I mean? It's hard being right about things and then just waiting for people to wake up.
This is how I felt about the A1 sauce with the Argentinians, to be honest.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you were introducing something brand new with them.
To the culinary world.
They didn't say they didn't like it.
No, they said they loved it, and they asked me to bring more bottles.
Right, but they never had. They weren't on the fence. They're like, we love this. So wait,
Okay.
You used to make fun of my love of mustard.
You're German. It was really just my way of digging at your Germanness.
Yeah, but first there was the pho. You weren't quite into it, and now you love it.
I do love
And
pho.
then there was the mustard comments. Constantly with the mustard comments.
It was constantly.
So
I'm
like,
sorry.
I like mustard. You know, I like to have a few varietals of mustard.
Yeah, you
around.
do. You do.
Right?
Yeah.
I
What
go.
are your-
Wait.
what are your top 3 mustards?
No,
I'd like
wait,
to know.
wait.
Okay.
So I get to. You were here a few days earlier than me.
Yes, I was.
You said you bought me some things, but I never saw them because you ate them. Right?
No, I said I bought you something.
Right. Okay. You went to a great charcuterie and you got a bunch of stuff and then you devoured it all, but you
Yes.
devoured it with mustard.
I
Literally,
did.
the only thing that was in the refrigerator was a cracked open jar of grainy mustard, and like a bottle of water.
Allow me, okay? Just a moment here. Because, so, one of the cool things about Buenos Aires is there's a really big charcuterie, representation here.
Sure.
And
And where does this German element come from? Do you think?
I don't know. They probably, they were
probably
looking
taught
for
them how
a
to
new
cure the
place.
meat.
They were looking for a new place. And so I went to this really cool charcuterie spot. And I mean, look, any place, any country, anything, any place that has more than one mortadella available
Right.
is a place
They
that
take it
I
serious.
can fuck with.
They take it serious.
They take it serious. So I got a couple different mortadellas. I got some finocchiona. I got a few things, right? And I said, can you please give me 400 grams of each, right? And they said, no. And I'm like, what? And they said, how many people? And I said, well, it's me.
They
But
even have an Italian accent now, don't they? How
yeah.
many people?
They kind of do. They speak Italian, Spanish. It's kind of funny. But they're like, how many people? And I'm like, it's for me and I want to have extra because I have friends coming in a couple of days. They're like, well, then come back. And I'm like, well, okay.
They literally wouldn't let you buy.
They go, and then I go, it's 2 of us. They're like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean no? I'm telling you.
Just
I want
here's my
400
card.
grams of the following items. And they go, come back. If they come on Saturday, come back. I said too much.
Got it.
I said too
You
much.
explained too much.
And then
how many people? You should have said 10.
Right.
They would have sold you extra.
Right. But then them knowing that. So anyway, then it got into a deep conversation. And I was like,
As it does
give
when
me
you're
what
waiting.
you want.
Yeah.
Give me what
Really?
I deserve. Right?
They size
what am
you
I
up.
allowed
They
to
size
have?
you up and
Cool.
could figure out which kind of mortadella
And then I could,
person you got.
they didn't say this out loud, but I could see it with their eyes. They're like, this motherfucker has love handles. One less slice for him.
Really? You think they were
I don't
monitoring
know,
your...
man. The Argentinians are interestingly into their health.
There's a lot of plastic surgery here.
Is there?
Both male and female. A lot. It's a very high per
Interesting.
capita of that.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so this
But you can
trickled
eat what you
in.
want. Suck it out later.
Right. Maybe they don't think I can afford it. So I was in my normal gym gear. So they're just probably like,
He's just pretending.
you should be healthy, my friend. Yeah. So I got a few slices. And dude, straight up, like after... And they weren't busy. I was like...
They also eat a lot of meat here.
They eat
you
a ton of
You
meat.
prep, I think they said 500 grams per person.
for a parrillera,
Right.
which is a pound of meat.
Yeah, over.
My kind of country, except for when you go to the deli.
Right, then they want to hold you back.
And then then all of a sudden we're the Gestapo of fucking mortadella.
Gestapo?
The Gestapo, isn't there a
Gestapo.
Gestapo? There we go. See, the F turns into a P when you're excited. So I'm pleading with the guy, and I just
Gustavo.
I gave up. Yeah, Gustavo. Yeah. Maybe he was a German Italian. And so I walk away. I'm like, all right, because now, and there's when the deli guy just somehow gaslights you into making you think they're right. I walk away like he just did me a favor. Yeah, I'll get some fresh stuff when the guy's coming. It's got too busy. Trying to get money in this fucking country is essentially like trying to find a line cook in New York City right now. It's just like, so I spent my whole Saturday just trying to get fucking $10 of Argentinian peso. Anyway, I digress. So I'm walking around after my gaslit deli experience, and I'm looking for, because I got a couple different mortadellas coming, I got a couple different salumis coming, and
None of which I saw.
well, dude,
None of which. There's still time today.
there is still time.
We're leaving tonight,
Yeah,
but we're going to go to
El Preferido
El Preferido.
to get what everyone says is
Schnitzel.
the best schnitzel. Max, did you hear that?
I
He
said tonight-
specifically called it out to you.
because I never thought of a breaded beef cutlet. That to me is chicken fried steak. You know, so but here, of course, the main item is beef.
Of course
I
it
just
is.
didn't put it together until I said, "What do you like, pork?" He said, "It's not a schnitzel."
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the line of the night.
But I like a pork cutlet. I think I'll go pork tonight. Pork or chicken.
Look,
A milanesa to me is chicken. For some reason, that's in my head.
Me too.
Right?
Me too.
A cutlet would be a breaded cutlet would be a pork chop, and I've never had a breaded beef cutlet. I don't even know what to put on it.
Guess what?
We're gonna do that tonight.
We're getting that fucking tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the deli.
All right.
So I'm walking back from my interaction with this old deli guy where he convinced me that he was right and I should not order so much meat in one sitting. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to you have multiple salamis, you have multiple mortadellas, right? And I'm going to be honest, Tony, the Spaniard that I am, at least for this episode, my first thought was, I want to get some really good olive oil. But then I'm like, well, if I get olive oil, I also probably need to get some vinegar. And if I get some olive oil and vinegar, I
If
probably
you give
need
a mouse a cookie,
Right. It goes down this downward spiral rabbit hole because, you can't, you need it all. Like you
Right.
need a little dippy roux, right?
dippy roo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but then I'm like, you know what? I looked in the mirror. I'm like, they already told you. You can't have more than 100 grams of each of these things
Per day.
What do you think's going to happen when you go to the line and all of a sudden they ask you, what's this olive oil, this vinegar, this
Right.
salt,
You're
this
like
pepper,
under the-
this,
you're like-
this Provenza seasoning? What is this all for?
Right. This is too much.
This is too much. I'm having the conversation. I'm like, I'm going to avoid this interaction. I'm
One-stop
just gonna-
shop with the mustard.
Yes. So then the mustard comes into mind, and I'm like, this feels right. This feels that like this is going to limit this interaction to a positive, quick.
Did they give you like a little bit of? Did they give you a little nod?
Yeah.
Good choice, sir.
They
They
liked,
could agree with that.
They liked it. So I go to pay. I got my mortadellas. I got all my stuff. I got my salumis. I got my mustard. And then I go, which of these alfajores, which is the very famous dulce de leche cookie treat that they
They're
sell here.
big too. They're not like there's
No.
massive amounts of DDL. Massive amounts of DDL.
DDL.
That's what it is. That's
Yeah.
why our camera guys got a croissant DDL
Yeah.
the other day. And they thought it was like bacon, egg, and cheese. They didn't realize it was going to come with half a pound of dulce de leche.
Dude, it's
on it.
insane.
Yeah.
The relationship between dulce de leche and the Argentinians is impressive. Well, and on that point, so I'm like, they had like 40 different alfajores set up, right? At the checkout little area. And I was
They're
like,
eyeing you to see which one you're going to.
well, I said, hey guys.
You asked permission first?
And I'm like, hey guys,
How many cookies can I
was
have?
going to get an alfajor. Which one do you recommend? What do you think happened?
He. All of them? All of them.
Just one? I'm
Oh.
like, well, I was hoping that you wouldn't get mad at me. And in this interaction, I figured, erring on the side of caution would have been good. He's like, just one. We have them with salt. We have them with a bonbon and there's chocolate on top.
They're getting more and more Italian as you
Bro,
interact.
and so I walk out with, let's call it in total about a quarter pound, maybe a little bit more of meats and I currently have 16 alfajores.
Where are they? I haven't seen
They're
those
at the
either.
house. They're at the house.
You're not sharing?
Listen, I'm going to split them up between you and Raquel.
Okay.
Because Raquel, thank you for all the work you do to make our lives easier. Raquel.
We're going to Bogota tomorrow.
Yes. So we're
Tonight.
Tonight, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Right.
I'm going to bring you some alfajores, and I just want you to know that they were purchased with all of the best intention, and the deli guy who rationed my mortadela wanted me to have every version of an alfajor that's ever been produced.
Fantastic.
So you'll get to try a bunch of those. But where the fuck were we? Like, how did we get here? Anyway, so...
Pizza truck. From pizza truck to, I don't know, your mind's just kind of...
Okay.
There's a lot of... Say it.
What?
Say it.
What did I say? What?
Long story short.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So...
Say it.
You threw me off with the mustard, bro.
What?
You threw me off with the mustard. So, when you're waiting in line and you have one of those vibrating things
we're back
from
to
a
that.
food truck, I mean, you're already... I feel like, look, some of you guys can pull it off, but I just want to interact and I want to walk away with my food.
Like I said, the problem was that they didn't have enough food trucks there. So, as you know, hopefully they take it as a learning experience and offer more, not less.
I'm glad
right?
that they figured out at the end of summer, right
I wouldn't
before
get rid of the
season's
pizza truck.
over.
You add a taco truck, so it's
Right.
not getting hammered, but reduce those menus down, get it out.
Well, so, dude, I went and got a turkey leg at one of these like food truck things, and it was like a 15-minute
I
experience.
don't understand how that's possible. Because the turkey, let's just, for the people who might not understand, you're not cooking that from the order. You're not even cooking it.
It was smoked,
It's smoked,
a long
ready to go.
time ago.
Any kind of barbecue is like...
It should be slice, go.
It's because you make it ahead of time. It's made ahead of time. You literally cannot make it on the menu. You can't make barbecue to order.
Well, let me
right?
tell you what happened.
Well, tell me.
So, I order this turkey leg. I was and you know what in my mind I thought, I'm just gonna get this fucking turkey leg. I want to walk around. I want to look at the pointless little crafted things that people are selling me. I want to see what wild scent of candle makes it into this
wild scent of $80 candle.
Yeah. And so I just want to walk around with this thing, and I want to get rid of this evidence before I get home, because when I get home,
you're gonna have another one. We're gonna have dinner.
Yeah, exactly. So
you want to pretend.
Yeah, exactly. This is just my snack, right? And
so you've gone from chicken wings to turkey legs. That's...
Yeah.
I was actually quite surprised to hear you say you got a turkey leg.
It's a compound movement. It is one thing to hold.
Right.
It is the corn dog of... Well, it's like a corn dog and a ossobuco had a baby,
right.
but with a chicken leg, right? But it's one thing to grab. So when you wrap said turkey leg with the napkin, now I can grab it with the right hand, move around and take pictures with the left hand, and I'm going back and forth, right? Back and forth. And the wings require like the opening of the vessel and the sauce and there's a lot going on.
In your car, wherever, but you need a seat.
Well, so I'm like, all right, and I'm like, hey, so, you guys do this all the time? They're like, oh, yeah, well, we used to do this a lot more, but like, my day job and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what's your day job? He's like, I'm a painter. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So you paint and you make smoked turkey legs? It's like, this is just, I love this. And I'm like, okay, cool. So,
I could see that. I could see barbecue being a great,
like a hobby thing?
Yeah, because making barbecue for yourself is impossible, or your family.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Because you need big cuts of meat.
Fair.
You need it to be like a lot going on, like a lot of people showing. You need to be able to serve a lot of people to really do a barbecue. And then dudes want to like have some badass smoker also. It's not some little thing.
Yeah.
But the passion for it tends to grow.
Oh, well, so I got a little buzzer thing. We're having a conversation. I'm like, who's fucking making this turkey leg? Well, who's grabbing this turkey leg? Everybody's like sitting at the stall, like conversing with me, right? So I'm like,
everyone working there.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna fucking walk. I'm like, I'm gonna go grab a iced tea and I'll be back. Question mark? I'll be back. And they're like, it'll buzz when it's ready. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, right? So I'm walking around, and I'm like peeking back every once in a while, like, oh, maybe my thing's not working. Maybe the buzzer's not working. So after about 5 minutes, I get a green tea, an overpriced green tea, and decide to walk back. And then when I get to the thing, I'm like, I see there's a line congregating, like there's a lot going on. And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, did your thing buzz? And they're like, oh, we're waiting. I'm like, oh, okay, we're all waiting. We're all making eyes at each other. And so, of course, as happens in the outdoor arena, the elements got the best of us. And before you know it, we're in Florida, and you hear the
Oh, no.
right? And I'm like, oh, here we fucking... I look up in the sky, and there's like... You can just feel the anger, like there's clouds coming together, and then you feel that little cold gust. It's been hot as fuck all day, and you feel that little, ooh, that was chilly, and you're like, nothing good is about to happen, and I need this fucking turkey leg in my hand as quickly as possible, because this is Florida, and it doesn't tinkle, right? It's not going to be a soft little elegant dusting of water. It's about to fucking go wild out here. You know what I mean? Like Noah and his friends are gathering, right? And I was like, let's fucking go. And then you're out in like a grass field, and that, and I'm wearing white sneaks. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that are just culminating into what's about to be a fucking excellently...
The perfect food truck storm.
Dude, and I am just like, I want to be like, so guys.
So what do you think was taking so long? Could you see the back? It was a stall. It wasn't a truck.
It was a truck, and it was like a trailer on a truck.
Right, had a little stall in front.
And on,
you didn't have visibility to what was going on in the kitchen part.
No,
okay.
I didn't know what was going on. And at this point, I was just like, I was in the same headspace that you were in.
Getting
I was
nervous
like,
for them.
If it gets a couple more driplets, there's gonna be a bunch of pissed off Floridians out here. Like, I'm not a gun owner. All these motherfuckers are gun owners, and there's rain coming, and I just want
some turkey legs. Better be on the way,
dude. So the best part about so it starts to drizzle, and it's coming, and all the people that have their stands out there are starting to pack up. Because they're like, what's the difference between selling no candles, no potpourri, fucking cotton candy rainbow candles, or selling no potpourri cotton candy, you know what I mean? Candles. I might as well pack it up now, right? The day is gone. I set this whole morning, I spent setting up, the extension of my inner soul for zero sales. So let's get the fuck out of here, right? Everybody's packing up, and we see this. Everybody standing in line sees that the rest of the party is ending. And we're all just waiting for the fucking whatever food we got. And it starts to come down. It starts to come down. My first move is, pretzel truck over there has one of those like
awnings,
lifted awning things. But of course, we're all outside. I'm not the only smart one. So we're all gathering under some of these food truck
What were you
awnings.
hoping at that point? Were you hoping it would blow over quickly, or that they'd call your thing would buzz and you'd grab it and just run back to the car?
I'm going to get wet. Is my mindset.
You're getting that turkey
I'm
leg.
going to get wet, and I've already waited 10 minutes. I'm going to get that fucking turkey leg. That's where I'm at.
That's the thing. It gets to a point where it's
honestly, too.
You got to win.
The restaurant PTSD. It's like, I don't want to be that guy. Like, I want to be like, yo, dude, if it's cold, I'll fucking throw it in the oven. I don't know what's going on here.
That could have been it. That could have been it.
I don't know what's going on here, but I want to go home. Right? It's about to run. It's about to rain. But the thing is I contemplated being like, this is a bad idea, guys.
The addition of technology isn't always the way to go. It is not always the way to go. You could write a number on a piece of a Post-it note and hand that to somebody. You
Yeah.
know, it does not have
Yeah.
to be like, I've seen a lot of these things, which we'll get into in a later podcast, I'm sure, like these layers of technology from very simple businesses.
Yeah.
Right? But that wasn't really the issue.
Well,
The buzzer wasn't the issue.
I contemplated being like, guys, here's
when
your
they
buzzer,
gave it to you, right?
right?
Oh, after you'd waited?
After I'd waited, I contemplated being like, I don't want this thing, this hunk of
Oh,
plastic.
my turkey leg. This is not a good
How about
trade.
this? How about this?
I got
I'm
I gave you money. You gave me a buzzer. I want to eat. Right.
Yeah, but when you hand it back to them,
So 2 buzzer fails in the food truck land. These stories.
when you hand it back to them, they're gonna be like, it's not ready, and I'm gonna be like, I gotta go.
Oh, right. You're stuck there because you can't steal the thing.
I don't
You've got
want
to
it.
walk up and you've got to
What do I
drop it
do,
off somewhere.
flick it?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like throw it at a squirrel? No.
Right.
So eventually, the first buzzer goes. We're all jealous of whoever got their food. And then more people are congregating under the awning of the pretzel place. The pretzel guy's pissed because nobody
one's buying
paid him
pretzels.
attention
Right.
the entire time. But now we're all hovering next to his mustard and his napkins, right? And then before you know it, like a sweet older lady's coming over, and you're like,
In the way.
okay, you can go under. You go under. I'll get wet for this stupid turkey leg. So I had given up, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to give him the buzzer and tell him I'm going to.
Right.
I walk over, hand in the buzzer, and then they've got a dog in the fucking, inside the food truck. They've got a dog that they're like, because the dog, I guess. Because
of the rain.
Like the little kid that's like an extension of the family with the food truck people were out playing with the dog, but now they don't want to get wet with the dog. So now there's a dog in the kitchen with them, and they're playing with the dog, and I'm like, I just want fucking turkey.
So
Anyway,
there wasn't the sense of urgency.
there was
That
zero.
They were just kind of like,
I was like,
hanging out.
hey guys, it's raining. I need to get out of here. And they're like, oh, sorry, hon, what was your order? And I'm like, I ordered a turkey leg, and there's like 80 people congregated next to the pretzel guy who's pissed off, staring at us because we're using him for his cover, but didn't spend any money with him. You see that? You know what I mean? And she's like, oh, let me just grab it. I'm like,
that's
oh.
all you had to do is be a little assertive.
So
All you
turkey
had
leg,
to do is give in your buzzer 10 minutes earlier.
turkey leg in like one of those clamshell guys, right? I grab it,
Did it fit?
just barely, with like the
leg.
red and white napkin paper
Got it.
underneath. I walk, go to the car, pop this thing open. Bro, it wasn't even smoked.
What?
It was like, you know how you can buy pre-packaged smoked turkeys that are like cryovac, and it's just like a leg? Like, you know what I mean? Like you can get like a smoked turkey neck.
Oh, it's like
or
liquid smoke kind of a thing vibe going
and
on.
it was the color of this fucking table. It wasn't this. There was nothing delicious about it.
No
The
barky.
skin was like flapping around. There was no crisp.
See,
there was no
this
smoke.
is
there
the
was no
takeaway. This is the takeaway. If you've waited to that point,
You're already angry. It's not going to taste good. How does it taste good?
It would have to be perfection. It would have to be worth it at that point. And when it's not even close to, even not quite excellence, you've already ruined it.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know what's going to happen? If I like saw those people again, they'd be like, oh, if they somehow remembered, like, how was that turkey leg? You know what I'd say?
What would you say to
It was
the turkey leg
fantastic.
people?
It was fantastic. It was one of the best turkey legs I've ever had in my life. I
keep doing
think
what you're
about
doing,
that
bro.
turkey leg all the time.
By the way, I need to pay my house. You're free next Sunday?
Yes. I can't. I'm not. That is not a painter. Maybe this is. Maybe this is it. Maybe it's the billable hours with the food service mindset is not a way to go.
Perhaps. Who knows? I think that the takeaway is to make it fast. If it's not fast, you got to start to wonder what you're going to get if it
Yes.
doesn't come out quickly, right?
Yes.
And keep your people happy.
Also, keep your orders as simple as possible.
Simple as possible.
Yeah. But the things you see the most out there are the things you should probably get.
Correct.
And next time you see a jalapeno pizza, you fucking take that thing and you run. Thank you for listening to OverSeasoned.
Thank
It's
you.
been a lot of fun hanging out with you, Tony. Good job yesterday. You crushed it.
Thanks, man. You did a good job, too.
I appreciate that. We're looking forward to the next episodes in Bogota. Stay tuned. Overseasoned.com.us. .us.
OverSeasoned Podcast was brought to you by Over Easy Office, outsourced bookkeeping solution.